Heaven's California.
Yo guys, what is going on? Welcome back to another video, and today we are going to be kicking off the football reviews again. I got an updated graphic. Mourinho's Manchester is going to be the theme of the reviews. The scores in the top right, best performer, team rating just above me, and some pictures from the game over to my direct right hand side. So starting off, yesterday, Manchester derby, one of the biggest games of the season. 2-1 win to Manchester City. Basically the inevitable goals from City coming from David Silva, Nicolas Otamendi, and then Rashford getting a goal for Manchester United. And you guys know I'm not a biased reviewer. I like to review games as they are. And yesterday, Manchester United were playing awful. Hence, the team rating only a 5. I don't think any of the players can get over a 5. Maybe a Lingard a 6. Maybe De Gea a 6. But all the rest of the outfield players, they just weren't good enough. And there's a couple of reasons why, you know, Manchester City are a couple of steps above United at the moment. There's a big gap in the league. There's Manchester City all the way at the top. Then there's Manchester United, who are like the best of the rest. Then you got the rest of them, like Chelsea, Liverpool, Tottenham, Arsenal. That's 4, isn't it? Chelsea, Liverpool, Tottenham, Arsenal. Yeah, that's the other 4. Then you have the rest of the mid-table. And there is a big gap between Manchester City and the rest of the competition right now. For the one reason being, in the summer, Pep Guardiola spent his money wiser than Jose Mourinho did. Let's see. Manchester City, who'd they buy? They bought... You mean last season their squad depth was ridiculous, and it still is this season. But they purchased a goalkeeper, an area which they needed. They had the retirement, or they got Zabaleta decided to move on, and they got Kyle Walker. Who else did they sign? They got Benjamin Mendy on the left-hand side. Trying to think who else they signed. No, I can't. Did they sign anyone else apart from that? Honestly can't remember. But, you know, that's already 3 first-team players that he signed. Manchester United, Jose Mourinho signs Lukaku. Okay, yeah, fair enough. He signs Victor Lindelof, who isn't a first-team player. We got Nemanja Matic, who looked like he was going to be a good signing. And then we re-signed Zlatan for another year. And you're just comparing them already, and you're like, what is going on? Like, City's depth is insane. You know, they're 11 points clear now after yesterday's win, and they are inevitably going to win the league. But let's get into the match. What happened in the match? Well, you know, a lot of the talk yesterday, Jose Mourinho, he was like, the game was lucky. The City had a win, and their win was lucky. No, I don't think it was lucky. I would actually say that their win probably should have been more. We were looking like we could have conceded 4 or 5, and that would have been an absolute disaster. You know, you're not telling me that the difference between the win we had against Arsenal was any different to the win with the team was not very different compared to the team we were playing today. You can't sit there and tell me that one man, Paul Pogba, affected the whole result. I just don't see it. I think Mourinho now, after this loss, has to take some of the blame because he's telling the team how to play. We just seem very reserved. We seem to be happy against the top 6 teams to sit there and just get pummeled. You know, it's a home game. We had 35% of the ball. 35% of the ball. That is just not good enough. The team lineup, when we looked at it, was a very strong lineup. We had De Gea in goal, obviously. Valencia at right back. 2 centre-halves of Rojo and Smalling, Young on left-back, Matic and Herrera in the mid, and then the front 4 of Rashford, Lingard, Martial, and Lukaku up front. One thing I didn't agree with was Martial was on the right-hand side. He's not a right-hand-sided player. He's actually a left-hand-sided player, so he should have been starting on the left for me. Rashford should have been starting on the right. Oh, what's gone on here? Yeah, so he should have been starting on the right. I just feel that would have been a better suit for the team. The midfield, when you're looking at that, you're gonna be thinking them front four have pace. Lukaku, he's a big guy, but he's fairly quick, and the other four behind him are rapid players. And straight away I'm thinking he's gonna be looking to play on the counter attack. But for the first 40 minutes, all we did was pump the ball up to the ST, pump it up to Lukaku, keep pumping up, goal kick, pump it up, long ball, pump it up, up. You can't. He's just not that type of player, Lukaku. He doesn't really play like that. He'd rather have the ball to his feet, and he can pick the pass out. He isn't afraid to get the pass off. Okay, there was a couple of chances yesterday where he should have scored. The one against Edison in that photo there, he probably should have scored that. But he only had a handful of chances. You got your main striker there, you got your main ST, and you're only giving him like 3 or 4 chances a game. He probably isn't going to score all of them. How are we supposed to judge Lukaku fairly when the 4 players behind him don't get an opportunity? The play style isn't right for them to feed him the ball. He's not getting balls to forward to him. He doesn't just want balls forward. He's not that type of guy to go head it down, run through, and do that. The attacking play, we should have been on the pressure from the starting whistle, because we know the last couple of games, teams have had Manchester City on the ropes, and they'd have to come through in the dying embers of the game to win the game. So I reckon if we had started off strong, put the pressure on, we could have got a goal in the first 10-15 minutes. But what we did, we sat back, dropped the 2 CMs back, dropped the front 3 down, had Lukaku up top by himself. So essentially we were playing a 4-5-1. And then Lukaku, up until the 42nd, 43rd minute when they scored, he had nothing. There was nothing there for him. All credit to Rashford getting the goal today. Yesterday. I'm recording this the day after. But the performance just wasn't there. I mean, I'm not sure these players actually know how much a derby means to these two clubs. Manchester City came. They're up for it. Pep has got them up for it. And I think now you've got to start looking at the manager and you've got to start thinking, is this guy right to be taking us to the next level? The next level to where we were, winning league titles, challenging in Europe. Because if we go to a team like Real Madrid, Barcelona, Juventus, PSG, even if we came up against City or Chelsea again in the Champions League, even the Spurs, we sit back and do that and just let them pummel us. Look at their forwards. They're going to have a field day. And look at our defence. Our defence is shaky. An area where we really needed to strengthen in the summer, we didn't. We got Victor Lindelof, who's not a first-team player. Okay, credit. Bailly's wasn't available. Jones on the bench, so he's probably not at full fitness. And maybe if we had them, we would have been better. But it wasn't really the defence in the actual play where we were struggling. It was in set pieces where both goals came from. They both came from poor defending in set pieces. And you've got to look at Romelu Lukaku for that. I don't like criticising him because I feel, I was listening to an interview there on Full Times Devils, which is a fan channel for Manchester United. They were interviewing Patrice Evra, and when they was under Ferguson, when we had a bad result, we were always behind the team. Now we get a bad result, we're looking at players to criticise, and we're looking for excuses. Maybe there is no excuse for yesterday. The excuse was we didn't show up, we weren't good enough, and Manchester City deserved to win. There's no excuse for a bad referee or lucky goals. They weren't lucky. Lukaku can't defend. It's quite clear he isn't very good at defending set pieces. We've conceded a few goals now. This is a big game for us. And Lukaku was there, and he just wasn't good enough defending. The first one, okay, Ashley Young was playing. He was playing. Who was it? David Silva on side. Probably because that isn't his preferred position. Ashley Young, when he joined Manchester United, is not a left back. He was a left midfielder. The same with Valencia. He was a right midfielder. And now we've just kind of gone, well, instead of buying a left back or instead of buying an actual right back, players have been playing there from a young age, we're actually just going to drop our 2 old wingers back down into the defence and hope that works. And for Valencia, it's kind of worked, even though, people say, oh, he's the best right back in the league. Well, he probably isn't. I'd probably say that's actually Carl Walker right now by a mile. And, Ashley Young certainly isn't the best left back in the league. But when I saw the team sheet, it did kind of confuse me. I was sat there and I was like, where's Luke Shaw? He played on Tuesday. He had a decent result. He had a very good result, Luke Shaw. He played very well. Why isn't he making any appearance today? He's an actual left back. How are we going to restore his confidence if we're not playing him? And when is it going to come to a stage of Romelu Lukaku where the manager's going to go, you know what? I'm going to have to take you off because you're not doing the job. I'm all for giving him chances, but he had 2 chances yesterday and he fluffed them. So now alarm bells are starting to ring in my head. If we keep giving this guy the ball and keep giving him chances in front of goals, is he going to keep doing the same thing, scuffing it up? Would we be better maybe starting Rashford at ST for a game? Or maybe we should have started Ibrahimovic. Or when we brought Ibrahimovic on, we took our brightest player in the game, Jesse Lingard, off. Because there seems to be some sort of devotion that the manager has to Romelu Lukaku, but Lukaku just hasn't been doing the work. And, they call him Mr. Bottler. I'm not going to start criticising him too much. I'm not going to say he's not worth the £75 million because he's an exceptional striker. But he has been very, very quiet. But there's 2 sides to that story. He hasn't had the chances. And, the style of play is something that we criticise often or not. And the style of play isn't necessarily the player's fault. Our team is more than capable with going toe-to-toe with Manchester City. Both teams, their weakest part of the team is their defence. City are playing Fabian Delph, a midfielder, in left-back. We're playing 2 failed wingers at wing-backs. And, Chris Smalling, he isn't... very much overhyped. Not really a fan of Rojo either. He's a solid defender, but I do worry about his challenges sometimes. You're looking at the team today. There's only one player that would fit into that City team, and that's the goalkeeper. Would Valencia get in over Carl Walker? No. Would who'd they even have at centre half? They had Otamendi and company. Would either Smalling and Rojo getting over them? No, not for me. Would Young get in over Fabian Delph? After yesterday's performance, probably not. I just don't think he will. City's wingers, they were having a field day. Our midfield wasn't good enough. Forwards, very, very weak. We're just looking for excuses now. Instead of actually sitting there and saying, look, is this right? Are we approaching the game correctly? The manager's still making excuses. The manager's still going, oh, it was a lucky game. Oh, the referee was bad. Sure, there are a few decisions that might or might not have gone our way, differing with different referees. But you can't just use that same excuse week after week. Referees, the ref. Lucky. It was an offside goal. You can't keep using that. We've had a lot of managers being sacked in the Premier League because they've been implying the same tactic that we've been doing. Tony Pulis got, he got the sack at West Brom because he kept punting the ball up. Long ball. We're doing exactly the same for 40 minutes in the match. Nearly half the game, we just kept punting the ball up to Lukaku, trying. Feed it through the midfield. Are we afraid to do that because we don't have Pogba? Games where Pogba isn't available, we're going to sit off and we're just going to punt long balls. That would worry me as a fact of a player. Like, if I was Herrera, I'd be going, boss, I'm at the same level. Play the same way you would do as Pogba. You can't. Pogba isn't our team. We have players there that are capable, that were capable of getting a win yesterday, and it didn't happen. And, now alarm bells are starting to ring. Is Jose Mourinho the right manager for Manchester United right now? I don't see any option I don't see any reason why he'd get the sack. We're doing better in the league, and we're in the Champions League than last season. So, I don't really see a reason why we'd get rid of him in that sense. But in another sense, you're looking at why Premier League managers have been sacked. Results. After that result yesterday, are the board going to be happy with that? Who knows? But that's going to be it for them, guys. If you did enjoy, remember to drop a like down below. we're going to be trying to keep up with these football type review analysis things from myself with a layout very similar to what we got today. A couple of pictures on the right and the information at the top. And hopefully, if I get the time to watch all the games, then I should be able to get these out. But obviously, these aren't going to be the only videos I'm going to be recording. We're still going to be doing the Wicked Wanderers career mode. I have got an episode recorded, ready to go out. That should be out within the next couple of days. We're going to have other gameplay as well. You know, I'm going to start mixing things up a bit for you guys. Because we had a period where we were just uploading Wickham, and I got a bit burned out. But remember, drop a like if you enjoyed. Comment down below, what did you think of the game? What do you think? City won the league now? And is Mourinho still the right manager for Manchester United? That's going to be the poll question. That'll be over there in the top right. Just over where my arm's pointing, over in that direction. Just like opposite to my finger, like over there. Where the Manchester City badge, just the top of that, should be an I. Go and drop a poll vote. And go and leave a comment down below. You know, comments. Let's get a discussion in the comment section, guys. Subscribe if you are new. Don't forget to turn on the notifications so you do not miss an upload. And last but not least, don't forget to share the video. Thank you for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one. Goodbye.